What a waste. I lost decades of my life without anyone telling me. I always thought I was stupid. That was what my friends and classmates told me all through school. By the time I was in first grade, everyone else was reading except me. I just couldn't get a handle on the words printed in books. When I tried to read, it sounded like I was stuttering, and the other kids made fun of me. I was terrified when it was my turn to read in front of the class. The teacher actually had to send me to the school nurse to calm my anxiety. I also had problems with simple math like addition or multiplication, and when it came to figuring out my left from my right, I just couldn't do it. My football coach would yell at me continuously to go the correct way on a play. When I failed over and over, he permanently benched me. The girls in school avoided me like the plague because I was the dumb one. Every teacher passed me to the next grade without me being ready, so I actually graduated from high school. But there was no way I could fulfill my dream of going to college and becoming an engineer so I could design and build things. I guess my so-called stupidity is why I became a long-haul trucker. I didn't have to be around other people where they could make fun of me, and reading and math were not heavily involved in the job. My GPS nav system made up for my direction problems, and I always over-tipped at restaurants along my route to avoid figuring out the right percentage for a tip. After a couple of years of professional driving, I fell in love with a beautiful woman. I really wanted to spend my life with her, but I was too afraid to tell her about my problems, and I didn't think it was fair to hold something that important back from a person you love, so I broke it off, and I've been sad ever since. One day at a truck stop cafe, a waitress noticed me reverse the numbers on a bill to try and pay an amount that was nowhere near accurate. After several attempts, she smiled and gave me the correct amount to pay. "Don't worry," she said. "With my dyslexia, I do the same thing all the time. In fact, it's not just numbers. You should see me when a new 5-page menu comes out. I'm a mess." "Dyslexia? What the heck is that?" I blurted. "It's when you have problems with reading and sometimes math and going left when you should go right and mixing up the steps of something that need to be done in a certain order." I took in and let out a giant breath. That's me! But nobody ever told me I had dyslexia. They always told me I was slow or stupid, and I believed them. By now, several other customers were lining up behind me at the cash register. The waitress leaned over and said, "I have a break coming. Meet me outside in about 5 minutes." We spent her break discussing how dyslexia had hurt our lives. But more importantly, Terry, that's her name, talked about how there were ways to overcome each part of dyslexia. When she had to go back to work, we exchanged phone numbers and I got back on the road. I was mad. So much of my life had been hurt by not knowing I had dyslexia, not knowing that I could deal with it, and I could pretty much do what I wanted with my life despite it. Over the next several months, I took loads on routes that included passing by that truck stop where I had met Terry. In fact, with her help, I got tested for dyslexia and have a person coaching me on overcoming the things I've always had difficulty with. I even started taking a college course online to see if I can really overcome this thing. And, oh yeah, by the way, Terry and I are getting married next May.